Today will be a review of this amplifier here. This is the SAEQ or Serbian Audio Equipment HSA-1C, and this is an all-type headphone speaker amplifier. Now, why do they call it all-type? Because this thing can run both standard headphones and also ribbon headphones. It cannot run electrostats, and if it really runs electrostat, it's truly all-type. But, you know, it's close to all-type. And not only does it run headphones, you can also see behind, it runs speakers, which is pretty nice. Now, you can see behind also, it takes in both RCA and XLR. While if you look at the front again, it has the, XLR 4 pins, the stereo, and the ribbon out. So you have all kind of ports for output itself. Now, I was asking in the forum, they were saying that all ports here do share the same parallel output, so they all have the same amount of power. This thing has a lot of power. It does 40 watt into 2 ohms, 20 watt into 4 ohms, 10 watts into 8 ohms, 5 watts into 16 ohms, 2.5 watt into 32 ohms. I mean, these are the things you probably need. And you can drive out to 300 ohms, 400 ohms, 600 ohms, no problem. The only problem is that with so much power, you need control, and this thing doesn't have too much control. Only 24 steps here, which means that you may need a attenuator. This thing has an inbuilt attenuator up to minus 10 dB with a flick of a switch behind, which I can show you in a moment. But 24 steps is just too little for an amplifier with so much power itself. Now, one thing I like is that the power switch is in front, so on and off is easy and simple. It's a bit stiff, the switch. I hope that they have given a better switch, but I think it's fine. And this switch do light up, so you know that amp is on. Now, you can see also 3 toggles here. Now, this toggle here is because this is for ribbon amps, and if you're using the open ribbon amp, which is the SR series, you may need to toggle this up to have better body and bass. Then you have the headphone and speaker toggle, and then lastly you have RCA and XLR toggle here. So pretty much this is the front. Now, if I look at the top here, you can see that there is a heat sink, and then there is a voltage view here to select the voltage itself. It's an interesting thing that they put the voltage thing in front, but there is an explanation which I'll show you in a moment soon. And then at the back here, I just want to show you a little bit more things before we show you something else. And there's a switch here to actually select how things are grounded for the XLR port. And then there's the attenuator here up to minus 10 dB using a flick of a switch up and down, minus 6 and minus 10. That's really about it. I mean, this is a headphone and speaker amplifier. Now, you have seen the outside and you see me turning this around. It looks heavy because it is heavy, weighing about 6 kg plus. This is a huge amplifier, and to put in perspective, this is the M17. M17 looks really small versus this. This is my biggest amplifier compared to the Ferrum or compared to the Burson. This is massive and huge. But because it can drive both headphones and speakers, I think I can live with the size of it. Now, let's take a look at the innards. But before that, I want to thank Jaben for loaning me this copy. They loaned me this copy, let me try out. I was really happy with this amp. Probably going to buy it soon. But, fantastic amplifier. And thanks to them for loaning me. Do visit them at Adelphi. They do have sets to try out too. So, I actually have to open this amp just now because there was a rattling sound and it was really irritating. I mean, I didn't move the amp much, but just now I was moving into the room, there was a rattling sound. I have to open up to see what's the rattling sound about. And I found this small little solder, you can see this photo here, a small little solder piece that actually fall out from somewhere or was caught in it and it was forgotten, but yeah, it was rattling all inside the case. I removed it and all is great. So no more rattling sound, it sounds great now carrying around, see, no sound here, which is what I want. And then you can take a look at the innards. The innards look pretty nice. And then the leather volume knob, you can see the resistors all built around. It looks pretty cool. I have not seen one before. I usually see the normal square ones, which is from a certain maker itself. I forgot what's the brand. But yeah, that's the usual one. But this is the first time I see a true leather kind of resistor step attenuator. By the way, this is HSA-1C because there was a HSA-1B and HSA-1A, and both of them were designed mainly for the ribbon headphones. This was the first one that was designed for all headphones. So, according to makers, this worked out for everything. But I did notice that the layout of the board, everything was very similar. Just that they switched the attenuator switch from internally to externally for the layout itself. But other than that, there is almost no reason to open this amp, so you don't really need to care. I just want to show you what I can do. Okay, so that's it for the amplifier itself. So let's now talk about the sound. And I just want to show you what headphones I use. So I also use one of my more sensitive headphones. This is the Solitaire T+A. It's a portable headphone that can go direct It sounds really good. And then I use the hard drive DCA Stealth, and I have pretty much eliminated many amplifiers with this headphone because this headphone is really good, and to make it sound great, it's not simple. Then of course I use the CA-1A. This is CA-1A ribbon headphone. This amp was made for it, and I'll tell you that it sounds really nice. I also tried ZMFs. I also connect it with my speakers. Concept 300 here. I obviously cannot show you in this room, but you can see my speakers in this photo here. The Concept 300 sounds great. Really sound good. So let's describe about the sound a little bit. Now, I'm not going to go through the entire sound quality on this video here. If you are interested, take a look at my review, be it on Headphone or on my site. And you can go and read through yourself the sound quality in individual groups itself. But I just want to summarize that there are a few notable things that are different. Some may be better, some may be worse, depending on your personal taste. Firstly, soundstage is big here. This is the biggest solid-state headphone amplifier I ever heard for soundstage. It's bigger than the Ferrum All, bigger than the Burson, bigger than anything else that I have, bigger than the Broadway significantly, and also bigger than the A70 Pro. This is also probably bigger than the MHA-200 and sounds very similar to it when it comes to the general feel. Yeah, it is a very big soundstage. Now, when it comes to the general timbre and tonality, I'll say this is more of the warm, lush sound with a natural rendition of instruments. In fact, I think I have played many tracks with instruments so far, be it my usual tracks, all my Ados and Yoasobis. I also played some instrumental tracks. I think with the DCA Stealth and this amp, it sounds super natural. It feels like you are listening to a live concert with no filter. Really nice. Very smooth, very nice here, right? But, the smoothness, the warmness, the lushness do mean that you need to like the kind of sound signature because it does affect the whole experience itself. Now, when it comes to the general dynamics itself, I think the bass is punchy, but I do feel that it's a bit relaxed on the mids and highs, which means that the highs don't feel as energetic and the mids don't feel as powerful. So the Ferrum All compared to this is like super power. I mean, I showed this picture, I was trying it just now. The Ferrum All is just super powerful sounding, like driving with authority. While this one is like, I would say smooth like honey. The whole mix was like, whoa, so enjoyable, so smooth. So you're listening to very nice classical tracks or pure female vocal tracks. It is really sublime. I mean, if you listen to rock, maybe you do not want that. But, if you're listening to others, fantastic. You beat the Ferrum All a mile if you're listening to those type of tracks. But that being said, the smoothness to it do mean that, at low volume at least, I feel like it's not as clear as, say, the A70 Pro from Toping. I think the clarity is very similar to the Ferrum All, maybe slightly lesser at lower volume, but at normal volume of listening, I do find that the clarity do pull through, the details are there. It just, at lower volume, I guess all the smoothness itself are very obvious and feels like, it's losing some clarity. But if not, normal volume, pretty good. Now, if I was to compare this to any other amps, I think this amp is closest to, say, like a tube amp because it does have that weight in the bass, that very smooth mids, and a very non-offending kind of treble sound rendition. And overall, a very big sound stage and a warm, lush signature with natural instrument timbre. Really sounds like I'm describing a tube amp, but this is a solid-state amp. And for my review, I tried it with planars, I tried it with 300 ohm headphones, I tried it with 80 ohm headphones, I tried it with 16 ohm headphones. It all works perfectly on this amp. The only thing that didn't work on it is IEMs. Maestro SE from Fat Freak can work on this, but you only have 2 notches for volume, which kind of suck. The Pilgrim Neue can work on this, but at the second notch, it's super loud. And it is very noisy. Like, you can hear the noise if you have no music running. When the music runs, there's no noise. I don't think that is the right way. So, IEMs on this amplifier is probably not what you want to do with it, even though it can, for more insensitive IEMs, like, say, the Fat Freaks or even Subtonic Storm, I don't think this is meant for those things. But most importantly, if you were to drive the CA-1A with this amplifier, I think this is the master of ribbon amplifiers. It sounds really good with this amp. I tried, putting the TI-1B on top and connecting to the headphone port. So, they say there is a para connection, so it should sound the same, right? It doesn't. With the ribbon port, it sounds like it's bigger soundstage, it sounds smoother, it sounds wider, it sounds also clearer, in fact, because separation is so much better utilizing the amp built into this than going through the transformer. And I also tried connecting it with my other amplifiers, and it kind of returned the same result. Technically, the inbuilt amp in the HSA-1C just sounds better. It gives better separation, better soundstage. Everything else, maybe it's debatable, but these two was really significant. I always remember them. And lastly, this thing, of course, runs my speaker nicely. Now, speaker-wise, I don't have that much things to choose from. I don't buy expensive speaker amps, even though I have nice speakers. My Concept 300 by Q Acoustics are really fantastic speaker for my room. I mean, the place I'm playing the music is actually in one of my rooms, and it's not a very huge place. I think like 20-30 square meter. With that speaker and a 10 watt amp, I use the SMSL VMV A1. It is more than enough to rock my room. And this amp here does the same thing, but it sounds very different. Interestingly, with the VMV A1, it's kind of like I get a smooth sound, but I also get a very clean and clear sound. Smooth and clear sound. This one gives you like a thicker, smooth sound with a bigger soundstage and just a warmer feel to the entire tonality of it. Once again, it feels like kind of like tube amps for speakers, that kind of effect. It's also pushing it onto the speakers themselves, and it sounds really nice, very enjoyable, very calming to listen to. Once again, this may not be very good for rock, but for what I listen, mainly female vocals, it sounds fantastic. So to me, the sound signature is something I really like. Overall, I think that this amplifier is really nice if you like the sound signature. It is a technically competent amplifier. It has plenty of power. I run the transformer TI-1B directly from a headphone jack. If it can run that, it has a lot of power output. The sound is really interesting. It is like a solid state tube amp, or should I say a tube amp on solid state. That kind of very interesting signature with big soundstage and good technicalities. However, if you are just using it as a headphone amp, I think 6,500, which is the price you find in the market today, 6,500 Sing dollars, 4,800 USD, or 4,500 euro, which is the price you see online. If you are looking at that kind of price to buy a headphone amp, I don't think that is probably the ultimate choice, like the best choice, because you can buy a Ferrum Ore with the hip sole at half this price. Yes, you don't get that smoothness, you don't get the bigger soundstage. This thing actually has a slightly bigger soundstage than the Ferrum, but you get more power, you get very good clarity, and overall a very authoritative sound, which is good for many other genre of music. And the improvement of this over the Ferrum Ore stack, other than soundstage, I would say it's matter of taste. Everything is a matter of taste, other than soundstage itself. So you can save a lot of money if you buy some other brands, some other type of headphone amplifiers. There are so many options at 3,000 Sing dollars, 4,000 Sing dollars that this is really expensive if you're only using it as a headphone amp. Now, if you have any use for its speaker tabs or its ribbon output, this amp is super worth, because I think all-in-one has some value to it, and ability to transfer its sound signature to its other tabs make it a very worthy purchase if you like the kind of sound. And in fact, just the output of the speakers, well, speaker outputs, if you are getting this kind of quality, you may have to pay easily $1,000, $2,000, $3,000. You buy a speaker amp and a headphone amp together, it will cost you same price as this. Similarly, for the ribbon output, yes, you can use the TI-1B, but it just doesn't sound the same. It just sounds inferior. So this is actually superior, at least to me, when it comes to powering ribbon headphones itself. I really think that if you use at least 2 of its output out of the 3, this is worth it. Now, if you're only going to use 1 of any output, I would say try the alternatives out there, make a decision then. If you like the sound signature, this is the master of that sound signature, at least so far I tried. If you are looking for the best headphone amplifier, this may not be, to your taste, the best headphone amplifier. So, $6,500 is not cheap. So if you are intending to buy this, go to the forum, ask a lot more questions. One of the biggest problems with this amp is that it is really rare. I know it because I own ribbon headphones. But if you don't own any ribbon headphones, you probably never heard about it before. It's really rare, and I recommend you go to the forum, ask around, talk more about this amplifier before making a decision, because it's a very expensive amplifier to me. Superseded by only a few, especially for headphones. That's about it for today. I hope you enjoy my short little review of the SAEQ HSA-1C. To me, I use all 3 ports, and it is the jack of all trades, master of some. To some, it may not be your choice. But in fact, if you ask me, I think even the headphone output is what I like, and probably the taste that I like too. And I hope you enjoyed this review. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.